Michael, do you think that Jalen Hurts will take a step back now that he gets another offensive coordinator?
Let me tell you what I love and what I'm worried about here. I don't think he will take a step back, and I think now that the truth is, we've seen this evolution of Jalen Hurts. Every year we watch him grow, not just on the football field, but take more accountability of his football team. Remember early on, it was Jason Kelce calling the offensive line, calling his plays, checking out of plays that Jalen Hurts has called. Now, he's in the same offense, going through a lot of offensive coordinators. This is his offense. He will not take a step back as long as they keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing right now is, in 2024, you rush the ball 36 times a game, you throw the ball about 25 times a game. That has been the formula. And Kellen Moore, he used that formula last year in Philly when we couldn't get him to do that formula before in Dallas. So everybody that comes to Philly knows this is how you win.
It truly is how you win. So when I look at it, Paul, and I look at the situation with Jalen Hurts, I think it'll be just fine.
Yeah.
They're staying in-house. They didn't go outside and bring somebody in to run the offense. And you think of what he did with Shane Steichen as the offensive coordinator the year that he was finished second in the MVP voting. He was phenomenal. Not only the new offensive coordinator right now is coming in, and Kevin Patullo, if I said his name correctly.
KP.
He has always been on the offensive side of the ball. You know how sometimes coaches go from the offensive side to the defensive side, back to the offense? Well, his coaching tenure has always been on the offensive side of the ball, whether it was a quarterback coach in college, whether it was an assistant quarterback coach, a receiver coach, a passing game coordinator recently here with the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like everything will be aboard for him, and he's going to continue to have the success that he had no matter who his offensive coordinator was. I think he's going to rise to the occasion again next year and put himself right back in that MVP conversation.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to affect him. I mean, guys, think about it. In the last 4 years, he has one of the best quarterback records in the NFL despite different coordinators. He's been to a Super Bowl, and he's won a Super Bowl despite a different coordinator. Now, listen, when you win, your system's in place. You got the formula.
Right.
If anything, I think he could probably be better. Maybe they'll take the straitjacket off of him, because we saw the straitjacket come off them last two games, in the AFC Championship game and in the Super Bowl. If anything, I think he'll be better. They're going to start taking more chances with him. And I know, yeah, they'll have Saquon.
See,
Paul just gave him all the juice he needs. Now, wait, because I'm looking at, all right. I'm looking at A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown talked about this. He says, for our fans, they need to understand everything has to change. I know we just won, but it has to change. We have to get better. We have to get better and do things different. I've never heard anybody who just won a championship say everything has changed. We got to do things different. So now I also heard in this play, I heard AJ talking about how close he is with KP. KP, the coach. And I said, okay, I'm glad he's close with him. I'm glad you got a great relationship with him, but you can't let him sway you over to doing what Paul talking about, taking that so-called proverbial straitjacket off someone and start throwing the ball. If you say everything has to change, does that mean, all right, we running the ball last year. Saquon Barkley was the MVP. Now we got to win throwing the ball this year. That's going to be a problem if that's what he's saying.
And I honestly think that A.J. Brown is just talking, Michael. They're not going to all of a sudden go away from what won them the Super Bowl. If you go back to 2021 and Shane Steichen, they went to the Super Bowl, they lose. He goes to the Pro Bowl, the quarterback that is Jalen Hurts. He finishes second in the MVP. Brian Johnson was his quarterback coach, offensive coordinator the next year. He goes to the Pro Bowl. Then you look at Kellen Moore. They win the Super Bowl. He becomes a Super Bowl MVP. And now KP, as you said, is the offensive coordinator, passing game coordinator previous to that, whatever that meant. I have no idea. That passing game coordinator, just you're designing plays.
That means we've been spending a lot of time throwing the ball, and now KP understands that we got to throw the ball.
No,
and then I'm gonna say you're gonna throw yourself back.
No, I don't think that they're gonna put themselves in a position to go away from a 2,000-yard rusher, and Saquon Barkley to all of a sudden.
Well, why did they win the Super Bowl? Was it Saquon's running?
Right, exactly.
Or Jalen Hurts passing?
No, I think it was them collectively as an offensive group doing the necessary things that they need to do to win the game.
Right, it was Jalen Hurts making the passes in the appropriate opportune moments. Now it's different when you're making the appropriate passes in those opportune moments than you're trying to create plays back there with the passing game in inopportune moments. Right. That's the difference between what we're talking about here. They need to make sure that the primary catalyst is the run game. And Jalen Hurts, yeah, you make those pass plays in those opportune moments.
So, Michael, I don't even think you remember several weeks ago we was having this sort of same conversation about taking the straitjacket off.
Right.
And one of the things that we communicated with, I don't want to say argued about, but we communicated with is saying that no matter what the case is, as long as you allow him to be Jalen Hurts and throw the football when he needed to make the plays, something they did in the NFC Championship game, followed up by the Super Bowl. Right. They're not going to be a 40-attempt football team on the offensive side of the ball anymore. I don't care what A.J. Brown is saying. They paying that man $250-something million to be the quarterback, okay? Right. To put the football in A.J. Brown's hands is minimum time, is the least amount of times as he can, or it's most amount of times as he can to help them win, whatever that case is. And I know you as a damn receiver, you wanted to go in the air as much as you can.
And love you throwing the ball. And love you throwing the ball. But I want you to win. I want you to win.
You can't win that way. You can only win by doing the things that got you there in the first place, which is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, exactly. You can't ignore Saquon.
No,
regardless.
Absolutely not.
We know what Jalen is capable of. And the example was those last two games. The NFC Championship, and I know it was the defense in the Super Bowl, but he pretty much made a lot of plays in the air and with his legs. And I think we're going to see a little more of that because now, listen, you had such a long season, and look what Saquon Barkley was able to do. He ran a lot. You want to preserve him into the playoffs, right?
Yeah, but you
want to allow Jalen to take some pressure off him a little bit more this year. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
You got to take some pressure off him so he might throw a little more, run a little more, just so you preserve Saquon, because they force-fed Saquon throughout the season, and rightfully so. He carried.
See, I don't think they force-fed him any more than they would if they had any type of running. When the year they went to the Super Bowl and they had a dual back situation, they ran the football with Jalen Hurts and they ran it with Swift.
But no. They know he was the catalyst, and for good reasons, because even that you just talking about, they didn't have this many 60-yard runs. So now I'm getting all of these big plays in the run game. Hence, I can keep the straitjacket on the quarterback because I don't need to try to get the explosive plays in the pass game. That's all we're saying.
I hate the fact that he used straitjacket because it makes it sound as though he's driving the bus and only driving the bus as a bus driver and a manager, opposed to an actual quarterback. Let's give him his love for playing the damn position.
And that's the fight.
You know, that's going to be the fight.
That's the fight.
Because once he said straitjacket, they running with it.
But that's the fight. That's the fight that goes on, not just on this desk. That's the fight that's going on in his head. That in his own mind, that's why we are talking about.
He won the MVP.
And that's what I'm saying.
There's no fight in my head.
It should not be. It should not be. But that's the fight. And I hope
See, Michael, I don't think there's a fight there. I think that we in this media space.
You just mentioned it, Key. Why did he say straitjacket?
I wish he didn't.
Okay, then, but why? But why did he say it? He didn't just bring that out of nowhere. He brought that out of his spirit.
He got tired of people like you enjoy and Paul at the 5-6 weeks ago talking about they ain't throwing the ball enough. And I sat up here and tried to convince you knuckleheads, but y'all didn't want to listen, that he doesn't need to throw the ball 30 times. So that was more of a dig toward y'all. I just wish he didn't say it.
It's just when you got the weapons you got. A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
You like, man, you don't want them to go to waste.
They didn't go to waste.
No, they didn't. They were there where they counted. But A.J. Brown is better than what he played. We know that.
No, you look.
He's better
A.J. Brown's a wide receiver.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let's get back to this. Are you trying to say that he is not struggling with this in his mind, but he just brought out the straitjacket?
I don't believe.
He's absolutely struggling with this in his mind.
I don't believe that he's struggling with it because he said
Why else would you say?
He said him and A.J. Brown both walked to the podium.
They both been struggling with it.
And said, hey, is this what y'all looking for? This is what y'all keep complaining about?
Right.
The fact that I just went out here and did my work?
But we weren't
shut
complaining
y'all
about
up.
it. But no, wait. They were winning football games.
And y'all kept complaining about they not throwing enough.
We're breaking down the games, Key. That's our job right here. We have to break down the games. We have to break down how you won. You won because Hut hand off to Saquon. Now,
Will you stop pushing the desk?
And you're right, because this they don't know. Hey, you're right. And you want to be compared to the greatest in this league, which are the Patrick Mahomes and the Joe Burrows, and they're throwing the ball all over the field. So I'm not saying he's wrong for wanting to earn the top respect in the top spot.
You're absolutely right.
But it is in his mind.
You win a Super Bowl, you get the MVP.
You got it.
Be mentioned up there with these other guys who ain't
right.
that.
You got it right.
Could I ask, we won the MVP. He's the other guy.
So he's saying I proved it. I'm with him on that.
Still put them in the same category of Lamar Jackson.
Right, they still go.
That's you. You doing that. I didn't do that.
You ain't put him in that category either.
Are you crazy? I had him the #2 quarterback in the league.
After the season.
After the season, going to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. I got it on tape. What do you mean?
All right.
Do you not remember the Super Bowl?
I remember after.
Do you not remember our conversations at the Super Bowl?
I do remember.
Okay.
Right now, he's the top.
Now I'm going to get back over there to you, sir. I want to ask you a question. Do you not remember what Jalen Hurts said? All he cares about is winning.
Yeah.
Winning.
That's important.
And winning.
Right.
He doesn't care about what you breaking down as an analyst and an expert analyst and a former 3-time Super Bowl Hall of Fame. He don't care about that. He cares about winning the game, not his statistics. Why are you guys so hung up on the statistics?
But I'm a spiritual man. And the Bible says out of the abundance of one mouth, out of the abundance of one heart, the mouth speaks. So when he said straight jacket and nobody else, I thought that was abundance in his heart. And he just spoke it. So I'm trying to say, we don't have a straight jacket on you. We're not calling the plays. Right now, he's the top quarterback because he's the champion in the National Football League.
Yes.
He has to be
That was
okay
his
with
goal.
that. He has to be okay with that.
And I think he is
He's
okay with that.
accomplished it. But he has to be okay with it without throwing for 500 yards every game.
And I would think, watching a young man celebrate at Disney World after the Super Bowl, that he's okay with it.
I hope so. I hope so. Then we won't get the straight jacket.
Maybe he want to be mentioned in the same break, like we said with these other guys in the MVP talk.
Come in.
Like in the regular season MVP
and he will be. The 1 year, look, man, 2022 already mentioned. He finished second in the MVP conversation. Okay? Second in the MVP conversation.
And this I think what we're all saying here, and we're just saying it from different points. This now becomes, okay, now we can win this way. You see, we held back giving an MVP to this dual threat process quarterback. You know, we had to make you throw before you can show how much you can run, how much you can run.
Got the MVP, so Lamar twice.
Yeah. And Lamar got it when we started. Oh, he's really developed a great passing game, and we saw such dynamic plays early on with dynamic runs. They were so woo, you got to give him that. But him winning a championship now, being that first dual threat quarterback that wins a championship, it's solidified. Yeah. It's okay now in next year's process. As we progress through the season to say, yes, he's an MVP with his dual threat ability, because now we know that can be a most valuable player on a championship team. He opened up the door. I think that's what we're all trying to get.
Real quick before we go to when you won a Super Bowl and when you won a Super Bowl, that next year when you came back, did you want more? Like, did you feel like you can do more?
Yeah, well, I think we definitely felt that way.
Right.
So, no question about it.
And he won the MVP. Right. He's going to feel like he can do more.
Right.
There's no question
just,
about
I don't know that, but I felt that way we won.
Right. And Key, you taking a slight when I say.
And I'm not taking nothing.
When I say it's in his mind. I want it to stay in his mind because that's what brings about, that's what Paul's talking about. Yeah. He's going to continue to want to show I told y'all I belong in here, and it's just, you just got to get used to this new way of winning championships, because that's how I'm going.
But I know what's in your mind. The Cowboys hadn't won a Super Bowl in quite some time.
Nothing to do with the Cowboys. The Eagles celebrated at my restaurant the other night. They got nothing to do with the Cowboys.
Focus in on Michael's Cowboys. At the Combine here in Indy, Stephen Jones told reporters that one of the team's goals in this year's draft is to find a young quarterback, a stud that is. So, Michael, do you think that the Cowboys should draft a quarterback?
Yes, absolutely. And they were talking about trying to really find another Dak in the sense that we're going to find him in the later rounds. You know, Dak's 4th-round draft pick. So you try because you got the money. You're paying a lot of money to this 4th-round draft pick. So you got to wait till about the 4th round. That's where you can get some money and get some value. But this time around, I'm okay with that process, but I want them to go in a direction where this time I want you to go get me a real runner. Just like we were just talking about. Key, you did a great job. You did a great job leading this because you took me from one place to another. And it's, hey, I'm able to lock my shoulder together just like that right there. You see what I mean? Now that, that's right. We've already established now that Jalen Hurts has shown you a new way to win a Super Bowl. Now I want you to go, that was a quarterback that can run.
Yes.
I want you to go find me a 4th-round quarterback that's a running quarterback. Not a quarterback that can run, but a running quarterback. Oh, Michael, you're so good at this thing. I want to go find me a Jalen Hurts. You see what I mean? I want to go find me a Jalen Hurts.
Of course you do.
Right, that's what I'm saying, because now I know it can win a championship.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
I want to get
together.
Jalen Hurts.
Hold it together.
Hey, leave that alone, man. Get on out of here.
Trey Lance,
Do you think
they got one there already? I know Cooper Rush probably going to end up somewhere else. What about Trey Lance? Y'all not giving him a chance? He can't be that guy? He can't get developed?
Let me ask you, let me see if I can do one of your things. You've seen that girl a couple times. Are you going to give her a chance after you done seen her a couple times?
If I know she got potential, maybe.
But what if you seen her and she ain't got the potential? You seen her with the makeup, without the makeup. You seen all that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't think the Cowboys have seen Trey Lance?
They've seen him every day in practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or else they wouldn't be making these comments. They would be saying, hey, we like Trey Lance and where we're at in our quarterback room, so therefore...
Get somebody in the draft for less. That's probably already better than him.
Look, I think you should take a quarterback every single year in the draft, no matter who your quarterback is, what your quarterback room looks like, whether you take him in the draft or you do him in undrafted free agency. You always want to kick the tires on a quarterback. If you think about the San Francisco 49ers, Michael, San Francisco 49ers had Jimmy G. They went up and got Trey Lance. And then they wind up drafting Brock Purdy that fell in their lap as Mr. Irrelevant and turned out to be basically a $50 million quarterback at this point in time. So you always want to do that. One of the things that I think, and I don't know who the quarterbacks are outside of Shador and Ward that makes sense. And those guys will be off the board. But when you start talking later rounds, things of that nature, and Michael wants a running quarterback, here's what I would do. I'd go see what Justin Fields' opportunity and potential could be for us in the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh, that'll be
now,
good.
What type of money? A few $1 million. No one's going to pay him $15 million a year as a backup. Now, is there an opportunity for him to go be a starter somewhere? Maybe. Maybe there's a spot or two that may look at him as a young quarterback as I'm evaluating him up against the 2025 draft class and being able to say, okay, I'd rather have Justin Fields or one of these dudes in the 4th round but you want a running quarterback. He's available. He's the one guy that is available that's still young that potentially can do what you're asking him to do, Mike.
Right. I want to find other ways to move the football, and this is why I go to get me not just a quarterback like that can run, but a running quarterback. And I've heard Coach Schottenheimer also talk about what he plans on doing on the offense, a lot of more motions and all of those things. I also thought when he started saying that, well, wait a minute, if you can find me one of the running quarterbacks in the draft, now I'm also going to say, go get me Deebo Samuel. Go get me Deebo. I was against maybe Deebo coming to Dallas because I said maybe there's a duplication between Deebo and CD in the slot. But now once I heard, I know, but they're dangerous. They're more dangerous in slot. So now when I heard he's going to do motions, I said, oh, okay, then you're going to motion and move more. I'll take both slot guys. Once you try to determine which one of my slot guys you're going to take away, then I'm going to motion him in the backfield and let him play running back. Just to mess up your deal. I'm going to smash you with this. You understand what I'm saying? I'm looking for more ways to move the football for the Dallas Cowboys. Last year, the only viable option they had at moving that football was Aiden. I love him. He's a bad man, but they need more to move the ball.
Well, if Deebo Samuel becomes available and it doesn't cost you a lot, then yeah, you can line them up in bunch formations. You can stack them behind. You can do some of the same things that the Rams did with Cooper Kupp and Puka. You can utilize them in different variations within the offense and the game plan. I don't think it's a duplicate at all.
But and let me tell you the best part of it. What you really want from Deebo is what song you're going to walk out to. The attitude that he's going to bring for the Cowboys. They need an attitude and a locker guy, a locker room guy.
You want that presence as a coach, and since they get that presence as a coach.
You get it in a Deebo. I'm telling you, I'll be on with that. I'll jump on with that. Now we coming out of the locker room with that, we them boys, whatever they got coming out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, let's go with that. I can ride with that, man. Bring him on over with that star on his helmet, man.
You can
Deebo, what? Man, I'll be back on
But
board.
you know, y'all got more
a lot of problems. But that's going to fix a lot of stuff right there. That's fix a lot. Because I think a lot of it is shoulders up mentality and heart. And he's going to bring a lot of that if we can get a guy like that.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.